I won't apologize. I won't apologize to a rat. I won't apologize to a man that insults the dead when they fed him. If he were a musician, he would have bleached his skin worse than Michael Jackson. And I still maintain that because when you look at Julius and his association with white people is that of envy. He does not hate them. When he's in front of EFF crowds, he pretends to hate white people when he actually envies them.
Okay. As you make these remarks and fire these shots, bring us into your confidence. Are you preparing for a legal defense or a political showdown with Mr. Malema?
It's a legal defense. I was just going through the number of issues that he's raising. But let me get to the two that he is actually trying to fight me on, which is the fact that he stays in the backyard of Mazzotti, Adriano Mazzotti. It is true. It has been reported. He has also admitted that he had stayed there and he was paying rent. The late Jotham Msibi, Mswazi, used to call him in the early hours and he would wake up, jump in the car and drive to Mswazi's farm, which is in Hammanskraal. From the backyard of Mazzotti. Not once at night, he's been there during the day. At some point at night, he was brought in by Zingumalo to the farm. Money was there. I have two affidavits of a person that used to frequent there, that saw him there, that saw him drop the money there. I have an affidavit, which is part of the my answering affidavit, of a person that worked there day and night, a person that counted the money on behalf of Mr. Mswazi, a person that has mentioned a Louis Vuitton bag that brought money to Mr. Mswazi, held by Julius Malema, a person that has also said that Julius Malema used to bring expensive bottles of whiskey, Macallan whiskey, which Mr. Mswazi loved so much and enjoyed. So he even knew personal tastes of Mr. Mswazi. So I don't know. When I say bring it on, I'm saying, you say I'm lying when I say Mr. Mswazi used to call you. Yeah. But the witnesses who have since signed affidavits to the fact that he's been there and
So as you make these allegations, right, I mean, you talk about having attached affidavits by key witnesses. Why make the allegations publicly first instead of allowing the court process to unfold quietly? Because this is running concurrently now with some of the, startling revelations we're hearing coming out of the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. Unless you are inevitably saying that you're confident of winning this argument in the court of public opinion before the court of law.
No. Remember, once you file, it becomes public. In fact, it is alleged that Mr. Msibi bought Julius and the EFF 8 bakkies. There's that allegation, 8 bakkies for elections of 2024. So I cannot apologize to a man who turns against people. In fact, Adriano Mazzotti must be aware, and Mohammed, because if they die before him, they must be careful that this is how he will also describe them. Because he has no honor, he has no integrity, he is a rat. Okay. And I want to add, Mpo, to say that Julius spoke at the funeral of Ntate Mswazi. But I want to read a paragraph here, how Julius describes this old man that has passed on. He says, Mr. Kunene's reference to Mswazi is a reference to Mr. Jotham Msibi, who was also known as Mswazi. It is well known that Mr. Msibi is reported to have been a taxi boss who was one of the leaders of the taxi cartel. He calls taxi business a cartel. Mr. Msibi is also reportedly linked to the drug trafficking cartel in the underworld and is also alleged to be responsible for assassinations. And then he says, copies of newspaper articles and social media posts that describe Mr. Msibi's links to criminal activities are attached here. So he was a friend of Mr. Msibi. He spoke at the funeral as a friend. There's an interview that he had where he said Mr. Msibi liked him because he used to challenge him. When the man dies, he describes him as a boss of a taxi cartel. The taxi is not a cartel. It's an industry. It's a business that survived apartheid in the hands of black
So
people.
there are contradictions here. So what is the basis of your court case? I mean, you know, how far is it in terms of seeing both of you now in court? Because what we do know is that Mr. Malema wants 1 million rand in damages. Do you think that that's an attempt to silence you financially, or is it simply the legal consequence anyone faces when reputational harm is alleged?
He must go and do an 8 to 5 if he wants a 1 million. He won't get it from me. He's trying to silence me. He's misusing the justice system. But what I was trying to do with reading this paragraph is that here's a man that has spoken. So when he spoke at the funeral of Msibi, of Mswazi, as a friend, didn't he know all these things? Or was he an accomplice to these things that he says Mr. Msibi was? The way. There's a boy that used to work for Mr. Msibi, from Mswazi, Galito Sibande. When Mswazi died, Julius adopted Galito. He goes with him everywhere.
Okay.
Galito
so unfortunately, our time is almost running out. And yes, I've heard the basis of what you're arguing here.
These are the documents I have answered.
Yes.
Now they go to court. He must decide if he's proceeding or if it's not. If it's proceeding, then the court will look at our affidavits. They will look at his. They will look at my answering affidavit, and the court will then make a decision. Okay. Because you can't describe a man like this when he's dead. Yet you would go to his house at night during the day, deliver money, deliver presents, go and speak about that at the funeral. I was at that funeral in my capacity as the MMC of transport. I attend all taxi buses funerals in Gauteng. And then you describe him like this because you want to give the court this impression that Kenny Kunene is saying lies about you.
What if this now becomes a matter of tit for tat?
I'm an open book, unlike him, who hides behind being a parliamentarian, yet he knows dodgy people according to him.
Okay, I wish we had more time.
He distances himself from them so that he can be able to fight Kenny Kunene. Go and check. Galito Sibande was the right-hand boy, was the runner of Mswazi. He has taken him in his care in honor of Mswazi.
Okay. Kenny Kunene is right. He is correct to say Julius Malema somehow thinks that there's something special about him. And quite frankly, there's nothing special about Julius Malema. All that Julius Malema is, he's just a hypocrite. A hypocrite who leads a life of double standards. He's a hypocrite who talks left and walks right. He is a hypocrite who mobilizes people and claims to be a champion of anti-corruption crusade, whilst he himself over time has proven to be a beneficiary of corrupt activities dating back to his days in the ANC and ANC Youth League. Julius Malema, whenever he takes to the podium, he denigrates people. He humiliates people. But guess what? Whenever he's faced with his own match, whenever he's faced with a person who retaliates and gives back as much as they got, Julius Malema, like a true crybaby and a coward that he is, what does he do? He runs to the courts. Yet he himself, by the way, if we're to be honest, Julius Malema did not become famous for his brilliant ideas. Forget. Don't tell me about land expropriation with that comparison, because those things are not Julius Malema's ideas. Don't tell me about the 7 cardinal pillars of the EFF, because those things are not Julius Malema's ideas. He has no capacity He knows himself. He knows about his limitations. He's got no capacity to generate any informed, sound ideas. So his fame came about his style of insulting people. That's how Julius Malema got to be known. Not because of being a brilliant mind or anything like that, no. So if you have got someone who has made a name for himself on the basis of insulting people, yet he doesn't have a thick skin to take the same when it is brought in his direction. It tells you of how much of a hypocrite Julius Malema is. Thank you guys for tuning in. My name is Discourse. The name of the platform is Izwi Labansundu, the voice for Africans. Kama Africa.